right, and after a brief hiatus, Body Garage is back with a better, fresh look with audiences to help us take into consideration what the topic of the week is. And definitely it comes with a new host, Sheila Chelanget. And so we begin this ride with a talk on mental health. Did you know that experts estimate that about 1 in 4 Kenyans suffer from mental health disorders? And to help us dissect this topic, we have our lovely Dr. Dorothy. Hi and welcome to TV47. Kindly do introduce yourself. What is it that you do? And do talk to us about what is mental health.
Thank you so much, Sheila. My name is Dorothy Omolo, as you mentioned. Maybe a correction, psychologist. So I'm a holistic counseling therapist. Mm-hmm. And I say holistic counseling therapist because I do believe, again, there are theories within the classes that allow us, or rather allow me, to go to diversify in the mental health perspective, that is to deal with the holistic person and not just your emotional health, mm-hmm. and that is your body, mind, and soul. Mm-hmm. So yes, mental health, as you've mentioned, is not only a crisis, but it is something that should be handled with utmost, mm-hmm. What can I say? Utmost responsibility.
Yes. And just on that, Doc, why is it first vital for someone to care for their mental health well-being?
The word vital is very good to use at this point of time, because if you're not able to function mentally, your body, before your body moves, there has to be coordination. Mm. And this coordination comes from within. And so your emotional self, your mental self, and your physical self must work in coordination for you as a person to function optimally. So it means if you're not able to function optimally, whether when you're either under duress or under anything that is causing your body, or rather your mental space, to not be in the right direction, then automatically you become shaken. Let me use the word shaken, or rather you become imbalanced. Mm-hmm. So the moment you're imbalanced, then it means that even making the simplest of decisions becomes a task.
And maybe what just triggers this imbalance? Because you're talking about an imbalance. What triggers it?
There are a number of situations or issues that can trigger the imbalance. It could be as small as you not being able to locate your phone at home. Mm. That alone throws you into an adrenaline state. Your phone being stolen. Probably somebody snatches your phone on the road, or as a heartbreak, boyfriend-girlfriend thing. Relationship breakup. Now this to mean the kind of marital direction. We also have inability, or rather the financial status of you not being able to afford something. Again, apart from all these sicknesses, there could also be pressures, societal pressure. Though I do tell people there's no society. Yes. Because this society is us who create it. Mm-hmm. But it's the kind of, somebody's doing thing A and we are age mates and I'm not yet there. Now you see, you start comparing yourself with the other person. Mm-hmm. Now that's the societal pressure comes in, the peer pressure comes in, and now it kind of gives you anxiety. You start feeling like you're lagging behind time, you're lagging behind, and you should be catching up, and you're looking at your age. All your age mates probably are married, you're not married, you're not dating. So a lot of things, literally so many facets, mm-hmm. would bring about the imbalance that would make you not function optimally, mm-hmm. Boiling down to the mental, or rather shaken mental space. Mm.
And when you talk about pressures, it has been related a lot with, the youth. And one would wonder why the youth would probably have some pressures. And so for the youth, what actually triggers their, their imbalance?
For the youth, let me say it starts from teenagehood. Mm-hmm. And allow me to talk literally from teenagehood, and then we come to the young adults. Mm-hmm. So for the teenage you first of all, it starts from high school. Or not even high school per se, but somewhere between class 7, or nowadays they call them grades, grade 7, grade 8, then transition to high school. Now you assume I, Dorothy, or you, Sheila, you come from, give me a very good village in your area.
Let's say Kiambu.
Kiambu is in town.
Kirigiti.
So let's say you're coming from a certain humble, they say humble, but it's financially challenged, homestead, and then you move to a higher level of school that is considered national levels. Now you go to this school, you find that the people that you're going to meet are not the people that you met back in your village. Maybe in your village you are one of the stars. Then you come to this school, then all of a sudden you're not the star. That's challenge number one. It's like you being exposed to a situation that you were not originally prepared for. Now you have to work your ways around here to be able to fit in. Now that is where the problem number one starts, fitting in, people's pleasing. Now you want to work with Dorothy because you see Dorothy is behaving like she comes from a well-up space, and because I'm here and I want to fit into Dorothy's shoes or Dorothy's kind of group or cocoon, pressure starts there.
Yes.
People's pleasing, a very bad mental disease.
Yes.
Now, I'm still talking about this particular girl. Now she transits. Remember, in her days in this school, there's no day she's going to be herself. Because she will always come to school and put on this kind of facial and this kind of analogy that she is fitting in. Then she goes home and the environment is different. Now shame comes in.
Yes.
In school, she's suffering from guilt. She's inauthentic. She will not allow any of her schoolmates to visit her back home.
Yes.
She's so ashamed of where she's coming from. When her parents come for visiting day, they're not dressed like Sheila's parents are dressed.
Yes.
Shame kicks in.
So that's where the problem actually begins.
Problem starts there.
And so with now, your time in the medical space, now what are these common sort of mental health disorders, especially now let's talk about the girl.
The girl.
Yes. What are some of the most mental health disorders that you have probably recorded and you have probably come across?
A number is bipolar, bipolar 1 and 2, anxiety, social anxiety. There's also depression. But again, something that is not really documented is people's pleasing. It's a mental state, but it is not literally documented or given a name that should be. It should also be part of it. Because you see, when I'm doing something for others and I'm forgetting myself in the middle, that's not good.
Okay. Let's talk also about the boy child, because let's not leave them aside. What are some of those diseases that have been, probably most common with them?
They're not really diseases. Don't call them diseases.
Disorders.
Don't call them disorders. Though they are disorders, but let's call them challenges. For now, so that we don't brand them. For boys, it's also anxieties, disorders. Same to girls also, anxiety disorders. There's also depression. And now for men, though the symptoms are the same, but they manifest differently in the boy child. Now, there's that is depression, anxiety. They also suffer from social disorders. But now when they are handling their social disorders, they handle it differently. Because now that is when they get themselves back to masturbation and all that, because they can't interact with the real world, they interact within. So it makes them, they look for something that would make them still relevant. So that is anxiety disorders. Also bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 is also there. And then again, there are now substance abuse, and there's also sexual addiction disorders and a number of disorders that comes with them.
Comes along with that. And we would be having an interaction with the live audience here in studio. Probably just tell us, not that they have suffered, but maybe what have they, you know, seen as they come along in school and as well as they were growing up. And perhaps right now we would probably take one or two comments. What have you interacted with? What do you think causes some of these challenges, as Doctor has rightly put it?
My name is Abdallah, and when I look at maybe men, for most men, I think we usually have a notion that, okay, most men don't ask for help. We believe that we have other ways to sort out our problems, maybe by us indulging into maybe drinking alcohol and drug abuse, that is. So most men around the society, they believe that maybe, you know, most societies raise us in a chauvinistic way, in a way that you can tell out your problems. So most men would rather settle the problems with themselves rather than sharing them out. So you find most of us have to deal with that. Yes.
And on that, I'd probably ask you, is it that it's them that think, I need to do this by myself? Why are they not asking for help? You see, he's saying most men we've been taught. Why is he not feeling free to just talk about it and ask for help?
Abdallah, thank you for raising that. Quite intrusive or intriguing. Paternity. We've been meant to learn, or a boy child has been meant to understand that, you know, you're a man, you're a boy. And unfortunately, that even happens today. A child is crying, and then the baby is reminded, wewe usilie ni kijana. You get that? So this thing is instilled, it is injected right from the word go. But that does that mean that the veins that are running in your body is different from a girl? No. Does it mean that your emotional state, or rather the chemicals and the hormones that you're producing in your body, does it make you different from a woman? No. Okay? So while these men are sidelined during matters to do with emotions, they're told, you know, be a man. And then again, the moment you start growing, you realize when you're in grade 6, grade 7, boys are treated differently. They're even punished differently. You know, so when they're punished differently, they are tightened. Okay. They're tightened, and they're reminded the society is looking up to you. You know, let's say even if you're the last born boy amongst other girls, you'll still find yourself being treated like the big man.
Yes.
Which is not right. But no, since the society, that is the paternity, time immemorial, has always made it clear that a man is a man. A man should not talk. A man should not cry. A man should not. A man should not. When did they stop to realize that a man also dies as a woman dies?
Yes.
When did they stop to realize that a man also needs a hand the way a woman needs a hand? When did they stop to realize that we as women and you men, we share the same hormones, two major hormones, that is progesterone and estrogen. It's just that I, as a woman, I have a higher level of estrogen that gives me the ability of giving birth. And you, as a man, you have higher level of progesterone that makes you a man. But we both have the same hormones. So I hope one day, if not in Africa, but in the world, we will get to a point that we start treating men as human beings. Because, bro, you guys also die the same way, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like you, the guy die a different, probably, you know, kind of death, and then we die the other death. You understand? And I hope, and I believe, and I pray, let nobody ever tell you that you are a man. You should not be emotional. My friend, cry in your room. Close that door. Scream. Take that pillow. Scream.
Yes.
Because again, if you go take alcohol, you're delaying that process. Tomorrow the alcohol will get out of your head, and then you'll go back to square zero. So if you have to scream, go into that room alone, be vulnerable, scream. When you come outside here, look like you got everything covered.
Yes. And so us as ladies do actually scream and cry aloud. every other time. And I think that even the ladies here would agree with me that we still do that, but still we are affected by some of the challenges. And we would be coming back to talk on that more with our female live audience here in studio. What is it that actually triggers them, and what is it that they are facing in their day-to-day lives? And so with that, we do take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Do not touch the dial. This is Body Garage, and today we are delving into matters mental health. And of course, in studio with us, we do have the live audience of students from the Kenya Methodist University. And before we went on the break, we were actually delving into ladies. We do often show our emotions, but then still we do end up having some challenges. And we had one lovely lady here who was about to speak about it. Kindly introduce yourself and take it away.
Okay, my name is Gloria. I am from Kenya Methodist University. Okay, concerning the issue of mental illness, like most...
please hold your mic close to your mouth.
Yeah. Concerning about the issue of mental illness, okay, most of the girls, I can say peer pressure actually. Like maybe you see someone wants to fit in a class that maybe your friend is coming from a very rich background, and you're like there, maybe you feel you want to fit in her class, you see, such, maybe I can even say the issue of heartbreaks. Pressure actually is the most that makes, yeah.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Take it away.
What was your name, kindly?
Gloria.
Gloria.
Yes.
I'm sorry for that. Your voice is so soft, my dear. Okay. So Gloria has mentioned peer pressure. And peer pressure, I think I started by giving a description where it starts from, right? So that girl moves from high school and goes to a university. And it's good that our audience is a university students. I can imagine the kind of pressures you guys are going through. Hey, well, allow me to smile. Not in a bad way.
How bad is it?
Tell me, how it's bad, right? There's iPhone 15 Pro Max here. There's TikTok going viral here. There's they pay.
Right now it's Mandamano as well. You want to be an
Gen Z
activist,
going
yeah?
down here. There's Mandamano going. I tell you, apart from just even the part of Mandamano and Gen Z, there's iPhone 15 Pro Max. As in, there's phone quality with image quality. And then, gentlemen, gentlemen, let's do this. I know, right? Because you're here, you're trying to make a life, and because again, this is also, I tentatively believe that you're either in your late teen days or your early 20s, right? So this is the moment that you want to have girlfriends. This is the moment that you're realizing, yo, bro, I'm not alone. Like,
there's somebody that should be there.
And then this somebody is somebody who wants something. And everything is more of, relationships nowadays is more of transaction. Tusijidanganye, tuseme tu kweli, si ndio? It's transaction. It's what you put on the table.
Mnaambiwa mnakubali.
It's the truth, right? It's transactional. So you don't have that money. This girl wants to go out every week. I'm still addressing the gentleman.
Yes.
This girl wants to go out, probably at KFC. Which other one?
Java.
Chicken Inn, Java. And then they also set standards, yeah? But you don't have these chums. That throws you off board. It makes you question your manhood. It makes you question, what kind of a person am I? And then again, this girl is also trying to fit in a certain group that she also needs to feel like hata mimi ni mdem. And then she brings that pressure to you. She can't handle it herself. She brings it to you. Then all of a sudden, she walks out on you. The next day you see her with another gentleman, and you're like, kwani sina nini? You see where the stress comes in? And then gentlemen don't take rejections easily. I want to give you a tip. And I want to give, even those that are watching, I want to give you a tip. Okay? Let me adjust my glasses. It's on a national TV, I'm giving you a tip. If she walks out on you, I'll use your name because I have your name, Abdallah, right? If she walks out on you, let her go.
Okay.
Don't call back. Don't hold on. Don't struggle. Let her.
Wow.
It's going to hurt. It's going to kill you from within, especially if you see her with somebody who seemingly have more chums more than you, it's going to hurt. And if your friends are not doing a good job of encouraging you, then please choose a different group of friends.
You say that when a lady tries to go, I should let her go. Okay, what if it's something that that me and her we've come from along. Okay, it's something that it's something strong. So should I just let her go, or should I chase her until maybe she's mine?
Yes.
Good. Let me ask you, Abdallah. Imagine somebody tied your body using a barbed wire. And I'm not talking about barbed wire of the chicken barbed wire. It's the normal barbed wire, the one that is pricking. Okay? What would you do if that person tied you with that barbed wire? It's already pricking your body. Are you going to fight and struggle to free yourself? Or are you going to sit still? Which one would you prefer?
I think that is a question for thought for Abdallah as we move now back to what we were talking about, mental, health. Now, most of the time, even when you listen to them, the main issue now comes when it's about speaking out. So there's guilt and there's also shame of you do not want to look like you're needy. So and then first, should I approach it? If I feel like I get anxiety attacks, I do not know first it's anxiety attacks, but I feel I get it. How do I approach somebody and talk to them? Because you do not want to look like you're the one who has the problem every other time, right?
So you have anxiety attacks, but you still want to belong.
Yes.
And still the concept of
talk about
shame
it
is coming
and
in.
say it, yes.
One, tend to have friends, have a cycle. Not a warrior cycle, not a pity party cycle, because it is easy to get addicted to your warrior story. When you get addicted to your warrior story, you'll be looking for, they did that, Aki, sorry. Now you see you're feeding from the pole, sorry, okay? Now you're not even helping yourself. But if you're able to identify, by the way, me when I'm around people, this is how I feel. Oh, Mary, see, when I'm always around people, especially when we're out of class, this is how I always feel when I have like more than 5 people around me that I don't know. You see, now you've confided in them. Now that is the first step, is called self-awareness.
Okay.
Are you able to identify it? Okay. Now, after identifying it, now you can be able to tell, today I stood, let me go and try. Oh, I stood next to 10 people. It was not too much, but it was a little bit. The most important thing in your body or a human being's body is self-awareness. When you've already identified it, it doesn't hurt. If you already know, Mimi, I get anxious when I'm around so and so and so and so, try it with the knowledge of the anxiety in play. It won't be that much. Okay? Now, the concept of shame. Shame comes from a deep part of you, literally from your upbringing.
Yes.
Guilt comes from your upbringing also. If you are constantly criticized as a child, even the concept of you just raising your hand in class to want to respond to a question becomes hard because you feel like everybody's looking at you. And that is always just within your head. Nobody's even busy looking at you. But the idea that, what if what if I say the wrong thing? What if, see where shame is coming in?
Yes.
What if? I'm going to approach that teacher. What if asinijibu? I'm going to approach that girl. What if anikatai? I'm going to talk to that gentleman. What if? You see, now that creates the anxiety.
Okay.
So you become anxious. Yes.
And then now you've said probably have a group of friends, and you'd find most of these young people do have friends. And sometimes you feel like, kidogo, group yangu, I feel like hawezi nisaidia. Now how do I approach someone older than me? Still put in mind that there's still the guilt and shame. You do not want to really come forward. And then how do I approach someone, an expert or a doctor or someone older than me?
One, there are toll-free lines for counseling, more of first aid. They're called psychological first aids, debriefs. There are those toll lines. And then again, once you realize that you can't speak these to your friends, just go online. You'll find a lot of, nowadays, mental health has taken a different trajectory when it comes to online availability.
Yes.
And then again, be a reader of these self-help books. But again, do not be addicted to self-help.
Okay.
Sometimes seek help. If you know of a therapist, if you know of someone that you can talk to, seek help. Because again, if you turn your friends to emotional dump site, there's a time that they'll tell you, yo, sis, bro, we can't help you. Because you go to them with almost the same thing daily.
Yes.
So get help from a not per se universal, but get help from someone who is not privy to your situations.
And maybe as we wait on them to give us their, feedback on whether you'd trust your friend or whether you'd go to someone older than you, let's talk about this year's theme on mental awareness was on taking a moment. Just take that moment. Now, what are those things I should do to take a moment? How should I know that now it is that time that let me take this moment and have some time for myself?
Taking a moment. I mentioned of self-awareness. Now, when you're able to listen to your body, you'll feel like something is not right. Remember, the concept of body, mind, and soul, sometimes the mind is tired, but you're pushing your body to do it. Okay? So the more you push, the more you're tightening the nuts. And one day, if you pull a rubber band for a long time, what happens? It breaks.
It will snap, yeah.
Right? And when it breaks, that is when you get to the deepest part of depression, and you might not recover so easily. So learn to listen to yourself. Take a moment, go to Karura. Just walk, listen to the trees, listen to the birds sing. Have that journal. And above all, by the way, sleep in a dark room for melatonin. Who is sleeping under lights?
All of us, right?
Sleep in a dark room.
I'm by my own.
Ensure you sleep in a dark room, have your journals with you, take a time off, go and walk alone. Gentlemen, have your own caves where you crawl back into to come out of it more creative, more ready. What is this cave for you? Is it a group of those people that inspire you mentally? Is it this team of people that you'd want to be with? Is it this club that you want to join? Is it this, is it jogging? Is it gymming? What is it? Learn to pick up yourself into your cave. Men thrive when they retreat, then you attack.
Okay.
Ladies, self-care. It is not about your nails. It's not about your hair. No. Mental rest is very, very important, okay? And above all, the power of when to and how to. Know when to respond to, know what to respond to, know how to respond to, know what to respond to, and who to respond to. Because not everybody requires your response, not everything requires your response, and not any action requires your reaction.
That's very true. You know, sometimes there's this joke. You think that you are actually in depression. Kumbe, ni wewe tu jateneza makucha, you know. Have you seen those memes? So let's take probably comments on would you trust talking to your friend, or would you rather go to your a bigger person? And what stops you from, you know, reaching out and talking to people?
Hi, my
Please
name.
stand and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jill. And actually, I have a question, but first on the comment section. I think, okay, first the question. You mentioned that we should not rely mostly on self-help, that we should also seek help from older people. But what would you commend to those people that feel like, yes, if I do ask for help, will that person, will he or she judge me? Will he or she be like, am I crazy? Yeah, so that's the first question.
Okay. Do we have any other comment, question before we? All right. The gentleman at the back, do stand and introduce yourself.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Samuel. So, you have just given us some tips that could maybe help us not to get into the difficult stress maybe that we undergo. So I was asking, what are the maybe healthy mechanisms that can help us to cope when we are already in it? Yeah, to come out.
Okay. So the mechanisms of coping, probably start from there.
It starts from the mechanisms of coping. Now, let's say which situation can I pick on so that we can get a mechanism? Give me a typical example of a situation.
Let's say
Heartbreak. Okay.
nyinyi wote ni kama ni heartbreak, si ndio?
Okay, now let's talk about heartbreak. Now this gentleman walked out on you, this beautiful girl walked out on you, right? And say you had a position, or rather the two of you were in a process of making something out of it, right? You've invested not only financially, but you've also invested emotionally. Say the first love of your life. Most cases I've had to handle those that, you know, this was the love of my life. Now, in such a situation, we are already in the ditch. First of all, realize that you are in the ditch. Self-awareness. The realization that I'm already in the ditch. I'm not going to fall inside the ditch. I'm already in the ditch. This girl is gone. This man is gone. So are we going to struggle while in the ditch? Take a literal picture with me. Umeanguka kwa kisima 5 feet deep.
Yes, 5 feet deep.
Okay? So you're already there 5 feet deep, alone. Are you going to struggle getting up, or are you going to be in the ditch crying of how Mary left? Are we together? So what are we fighting for here? Life after Mary.
Yes.
Okay? So the thing is, how do we walk out? First of all, journaling. How do I feel? Because at this point of time, you're not going to sleep. Sleep is gone. You sleep for 1 hour, by 12 in the night, you're up. And a lot of hormones, brain resets at around 1 p.m. Between 12 to 3. That is when the brain is resetting to prepare you for the next day. So when you're up, it means all your nerves are up. It means by the time your brain should be resetting, preparing for the next day, you'll not be ready. It means the next day you'll be very grumpy because you didn't sleep well. Start journaling. And this one needs you to be very, very, very personal with. You must be very, very intentional with it.
Okay.
So write down your feelings. How am I feeling? Oh, by the Mary alinitoka. Nilikuwa nimempatia moja mbili tatu. Oh, this is write down how you're feeling.
Okay.
I feel like I can naweza mpiga kofi. Yani, write everything. Don't mince your words. If it's John, don't mince your words. Write everything down. It means you're getting it out of here and then you're putting it down. The mind is very beautiful. It will feel like those tabs have been closed.
Okay.
So it feels like they're being solved. We get the concept here. Then journal. After journaling, ensure you take a walk at least 45 minutes daily.
Yes, we would come back to that. Just hold on to that thought. We are talking about mental health here on Body Garage on TV47. And sure, we will read your feedback as they do come. But first, let's take this little break. But we'll be right back. Welcome back to TV47's Body Garage, and thank you for keeping it TV47. We do have a lively audience here in studio with us talking just about mental health, and she had asked about now telling your friend something that's bothering you now, and then the fear of being judged. Speak on that.
Okay. Fear of being judged and telling, especially the older people, they might judge you, right? So if you feel like the older people might judge you, that's why we young therapists are here. Okay? That's why us young therapists are here to bridge the gap of judgments. Because I'm not going to judge you to have done 1, 2, 3. You don't know if I've been there before. And then again, if you find a professional that is judging, then maybe they landed there from the moon. They're not in real-time world. Yeah.
And one question that we found along all the other comments was that, do we have any services of mental health screening? We do have cervical cancer, we do have that. Are there screenings of mental health and whatnots in the country?
Not really that I can tell of, but we do have the one that I mentioned earlier, the toll-free lines.
Yes.
For psychological debriefs. But again, I think that's quite a good insight. Maybe us as mental health advocates, we should check maybe in the future. But if you can't get to the toll-free lines, which again, please make use of them in your day-to-day lives. But if you can't get them, we are all over. We are all over social media. We are all over social media. And especially for me, I have a particular thing for gentlemen. I always love when they reach out. I would rather do them for free. Because for gentlemen, it's just something else. So just check out on the social medias, look for who you feel will not judge you. But again, the first session, you feel like they're judging you, move on to the next. Because again, it is about you and not about them. It is about your experience and not about their experience. Yeah.
And she's very passionate about the gentleman. Probably one more gentleman who can speak and ask something, talk about your feelings. The guy at the back, please stand. And the lady.
Hello everyone, my name is Patience Muli. So this goes to actually everyone. We also interact with the male species or the guys. So how do you come to realize that this guy or this friend of yours is struggling with mental health? Because most of the times boys tend not to show their emotions. So you as a lady, how can you, what are those early signs for mental health?
In gentlemen, right? Now, as we said, because the paternity dictates that, we got the muscles, you might not be able to tell from the onset. But if you're a close friend who is also self-aware, you see, that is the point. As a close friend who is also self-aware can tell that, hey, leo nimeona Abdallah is not dressed the way he's always dressing. Today Abdallah is not laughing the way he's always laughing. The smile will be there, but it will be a distant smile. And you should be able to tell if you're self-aware and if you know Abdallah that much.
Okay.
So it is also important that if you have this gentleman in your groups, sometimes you don't even need to ask some things, probe. Hey,
so it needs actually attention to that other person.
It's not per se called attention, it's called conscious living.
Okay.
I always know Sheila. Of course, by the virtue that you're always seated next to me in class or we are in our discussion groups, I know how Sheila responds to questions. I know how Sheila laughs. And then all of a sudden, a week, Sheila is not laughing the way she's always laughing. Now, I'm not going to ask you in front of everybody I'll call you out. Hey, Sheila, let's go for a walk. Sheila, you don't look fine.
Yes.
What's up? You see, the concept of pulling them out of the crowd gives them a safe space. And that is where everybody needs to feel heard, to feel listened to, and to feel valued.
Okay. And so as we wrap up, probably what are your tips, pro tips to improving one's mental health?
Tips to improving one's mental health. Please journal.
Okay.
Have your private journals. Please do groundwork, meaning walk barefoot, especially if you're in Karura or Arboretum. Anywhere you can get a ground, walk barefoot. It's very important for you. Speak out. Pick that person that you feel you can be safe with. And again, please don't pick anybody and everybody, because they'll use this against you when the time is ripe. That is also very important, okay? So speak out. Don't hold these things inside, because when the bottle is so full, it will one day blow out. Seek professional help. Call these numbers that are online. Look for these people online. Talk to them. Again, create a family, create a space, create a safe space, and don't be swallowed by the societal expectations. Can I tell you one bad thing that I always tell my clients? These people that you're trying to impress make a mistake of dying now. They'll still live, but you'll be dead, right? It's that bad. So don't impress anybody, impress you. There's no society, and the society that is there, it is you who've created it. It is you who've set standards. Because you've seen her so beautiful and melanated here, you want to go and, let me use if you are brown, yeah? If you're chocolatish. You want to go and make sure that you're chocolatish as her, so that you are accepted in the quote and say society.
Yes.
Nobody asked you to go brown, right? So it is the lane that you created, and you're sticking to that lane and creating stress for yourself within the lane that you created.
Yes.
So get out of that lane and be yourself. Walk out of that box and love yourself before anybody else.
Quite the insight there. Probably let's have one more before we wrap up the show. Tell us, what have you learned?
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Linda. First of all, I have learned that speaking up is something good, although most of us personally, me, I don't really speak up and I'm okay with it. And I have a question. You have said that someone should speak up, but there are those people who have no problem with speaking up, but now you're so confident, you go and sit this person down, you tell them your problem, and then after you've left and you're there sleeping, you start to think, why did I even tell them? You regret. And another question, you talked about bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. Would you mind explaining to us about the two bipolar so that you can get to know, and how can someone know if they're bipolar or not?
Okay.
Thank you.
Doc, you have quite the task and you have to do that in about a minute. Yes.
That's okay. So for proper diagnosis, I think I would either would see you after this, or you'd see a professional for proper diagnosis of either bipolar 1 or bipolar 2. And for the concept of you talking about something and then later coming to regret why you did it, it means your body, your nervous system can easily tell you that that was not a safe space.
Yes. You just didn't listen to your body.
So you didn't listen to your gut feeling.
Right. Yes, you did. And thank you very much, Dr. Dorothy, for coming through, as well as the audience from Kenya Methodist University. Do clap for yourselves. You've done actually a good job. And we will see you next on Body Garage next week. Thank you for watching and tuning in. I have been your host, Sheila Chelangat.